Is the camera ready back here?
Not quite. Almost. Yes, go.
Okay, we'll take a roll call. Mark?
Here.
Stan?
Here.
Jen?
Here.
Carla? Ron, I'm here. So all of us are here, present. Okay, our attorney Alicia, what do you have for us?
I don't think I have anything specific for the usual meetings.
I just put this contract under you. Can you say, yeah, I looked at this?
Oh, the CCMG?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did look at the CCMG contract. It looks fine.
Good.
Okay. Do we want Colin to
Yeah,
explain it?
sure.
Colin, would you like to explain
Sure
it?
thing.
Colin
Right.
from
I
BFNS.
hope you're able to fit back there.
Can we squeeze back there?
No, you don't have
Right
to,
here? Okay,
yeah.
all right, very well. So, yeah, the agreement is for the 23-1 CCMG program that we've been applying for every year for the last 5-6 years. This includes phase 1 of cost estimating and application, and phase 2 for bidding assistance and construction plans and specifications, and then a phase 3 of an hourly not to exceed construction inspection. And that hourly is a budgetary number. We hope to go under that, but just a budgetary number. Mike Smith will be most likely be the inspector as usual by the time he's down here. So that's about the gist of it, unless you guys have any questions. I will say that Dave Buck and I were looking at your Pazer yesterday, and you guys are almost all in the green, which is pretty amazing. I don't think I've ever seen you almost all green, and I think the ones that are red were on your list to get done.
Good.
So that's pretty, and you guys can go in preservation mode, which is in maintenance, and that would be phenomenal. So good work.
Well, we're pretty caught up and we're in order of everything, so that's really good.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Okay, anybody got any questions?
Hi, Mark. So, this go round, we'll need, you guys to do the submittal and all that.
The application
Yes.
itself? Yep.
Yes. Before, I've worked with you or Mike Bain on going on that portal.
Right.
This time, you guys will do that. Take it all the
Dave.
way through.
Dave's done, helped out quite a bit on that, so.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is that that would be part of.
That's
your
part of
cost
phase
there.
1, correct.
Okay.
That is part of phase 1 credit application assistance.
So in that scenario, so the council has until the 27th, I believe, at 5 p.m.
January 27th, 5 p.m.
to get that
Click
grant
submit.
application in. So hopefully they're going to give you approval for what streets they do want to do. And then you'll get with them with the more detailed cost estimate.
Correct.
You know, because this one's just a ballpark.
Yeah.
number.
Yep.
Okay.
We're just giving you a list so you.
Get his list, and then you guys can
I just
take
wanna
out
make
what you
sure.
want, don't want, then we'll give you a final estimate, and we'll like to apply early, because if you apply early, we'll review it and give you a thumbs up that it's good.
Yeah, we didn't make a mistake.
Right.
So what is by the 27th?
So the application is actually due by the 27th at 5 p.m. the deadline.
So, and Colin's right. I know in the last 2 years, I've sent it in and I've gotten something wrong, and you got back to me that next day, so I could make the adjustment.
And I'll review those pretty quick and let you know if you got wrong, so I can make quick or something like that, so. It's pretty quick, but I do know that too. And you won't know, if you won for several months, it probably be May.
Right.
And then, once that, we can go into bidding and have it constructed this year, or later this year.
Okay, any other council comments on this?
No, but I think we generally just have one person sign out all of this, right?
Yeah, so the acceptance and authorization to proceed, that just has one signature. I think what you typically do is you all approve this BF&S, and I think you'll all sign that, and then you'll just want to authorize someone to be the signatory, and you can do that via motion tonight if you'd like. And then that person will be responsible for signing.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this? Okay, we need a motion to okay this.
So you're just okay to contract the hire them, correct?
Right
Yes.
now, right now.
Yes.
I make a motion to hire BFNS for the contract for, what do you call that? CCMG.
Assistance.
I second.
Okay, we got a motion by Stan to accept the BFNS 2023 CCMG Program Assistant Contract, and a second by Jen. We'll take a roll call vote. Mark?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
And Ron, I vote yes, so we're okay with that. Passes.
So then do we want to authorize somebody to sign? Yes.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to have Jen sign the contract, and it's time to sign it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ron and a second by Stan to have Jen sign the contract. Take a vote on it. Mark?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Carla?
Yes.
Ron? I vote yes, so that passes. Okay, next is Colin and Dave. You guys want to explain
Yeah, you do.
explain anything? We don't need to talk about the, are we doing that now?
Fall festival?
Well, we don't really want
Well, we
to
don't.
talk about the numbers, we
We
just
just
need
want
to
to
talk
talk
about what's on
about
here.
what streets we're doing and everything at this point, you know, until we get the bids in on numbers and stuff, so.
You want me to just go over the streets that we're
Yeah,
looking at?
yeah,
Sure.
the thing you sent us there.
We got Shady Lane from Dayton Road to the dead end. That, I think there's any difference too, it's just a mill and pave.
Without the curves, because we did between the two curves a couple
Correct,
of years ago.
that's subtracting the curves in there.
And that includes all the cul-de-sacs.
No,
No, we've already done.
just the main road.
Just the main road to the dead end back.
Dayton to the first curve, Dayton Road to the first curve, and then the second curve down to the end where it turns the corner.
Then we got Yost Drive South, by the Dollar General there, just that little short strip.
So talk about that, you just sent me a note about that.
Sure thing. So that Yost Drive South section, we're gonna put curb on the west side. There was, Mark and I talked, and Dave, about possibly adding a left turn lane there, but it doesn't look like there's gonna be enough room. Just preliminary look. I'll let
Yeah,
Dave-
that gets involved really quickly with additional pavement, widening, and probably an NDOT permit, and a lot more planning and things to do that we have time to do, and a lot more cost too.
Yeah,
So,
just-
it's a very good thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we kind of measured it out, but
But it will get striking, and that
Yeah.
will help.
Yeah,
Find what you're-
that'll be nice.
we got striping included in that. Yost Drive North is from State Road 38 to Hine Drive. And that's, again, we have
mill and resurface.
mineral
And it
resources.
goes 90 foot around to
Correct.
the first mailbox of McAllister,
Mhm.
the
Right
old
to
part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
East,
going east.
And then the next one on the list is Republican Street, which would be Main Street to the dead end. There is a inlet on the east side of the road there that will replace. Looks like it needs to be replaced.
It's storm.
Yeah, storm inlet. Also, there's a sinkhole in the road, so we'll have some patching on that one, but again.
Sounds so terrible, you call it,
Well-
like Republican just open.
It's just dip, we'll call it a dip.
Just a
It's
dip.
a little dip in there. and
Yeah.
We're gonna take that out, put some patching in, so there'll be no longer be a dip there.
It just works,
Yeah.
it's been that way since I've been here.
Yeah.
I kept an eye on it, it hasn't gotten any worse, but we might as well bring it up to.
Yeah,
Let it out.
What was the pipe you said, maybe a pipe replacement?
There's a storm inlet that needs to be replaced.
Oh, storm, yeah, storm.
It's on the east side of the road, kind of off the road a little bit.
Right by where that greenhouse used to sit.
And correct me if I'm missing.
You're doing great.
All right, he's the one that put all the. he's the one who put
but he
that.
tells you to get up and
Yeah,
say,
yeah. I'm the top.
He's up, he's doing great.
he can.
Let's see, the next one is Pelican Prairie Lane. And that is basically a little cul-de-sac back in the Prairie Lane. We're gonna widen that circ's radius put more pavement down, so we line it up, put some bollards around the fire hydrants so it doesn't get hit. And anything else on this one?
Research, research.
Yeah, well,
So we're widening it by going in,
Going
right,
in,
because it's like
correct.
grass in the middle,
yeah,
so.
we're not going out to anybody's property, it's
Yeah.
all going in.
Yeah.
And Mark suggested like a 6-foot circle around where the gravel or something around the hydrant. And
Correct.
two
Yep.
pillars that go up there.
Yeah, we have 4 bollards in, what we're thinking of, so
Yeah.
we'll see, depending on where the utilities are at, and see where we're placing that. It may be 3, it could be 4. Next one is Deerfield subdivision. That'll be a mill and pave. Let's see, that one also has a sidewalk, some sidewalk we replace on, and a couple slabs of approach work on that one, so that's, will be all included. Any estimates?
And some accessibility ramps
Oh,
are required to be done, so we've included those too. And they're where the sidewalk meets the street, a handicap ramp. So
Oh,
if you resurface the street, you have to do those.
You have to be
Yeah.
up to specs.
If there's- Yeah, correct. If there's sidewalk on a street that you touch, you gotta bring up ADA standards.
so what corner will they look like?
Mhm.
Like, is it gonna look like the corner of like Clifty and Dayton Road? Or is it gonna look like,
We don't want those high curves.
Okay,
It
so
looks like
they're not
they-
designed or anything,
The
so.
new ones here.
oh, okay,
Yeah, we can design it.
Real,
okay.
There's other curves you trip over and everything
Yeah.
else.
We've just got that rough surface
Yeah,
there.
it's got little
Okay.
knobs on it.
Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
which we've been doing on some of the other ones out there, so.
Super. Good.
And that one, I think that's 15 panels of sidewalk that we're looking at, replacing, and
That was on.
Hey,
it's, yeah, 617.
yeah, they're, for the most part, they were in great shape.
621 Dayton, I think is the address.
617?
Yeah.
They're not even bad, they're just like
And
uneven.
the reason we gotta take so many panels up is because the dip and the approach, the drive there, that needs to be replaced, but we kind of graded out, so
Mhm.
it levels out a little bit, so. I think that's all I have. Any other comments?
Really, it's just the remaining street. If you look at that map, we didn't bring it, we should have
Should have
brought
brought,
it.
yeah, I should, well, I can
It's
pull
the ones
it
that
up.
are red and orange that are remaining, and it's the spots that haven't been touched yet, so
Yeah.
their next priority is what we're recommending.
Yeah.
Pull it up and show you. It's pretty amazing, though. It's almost all green.
Is that why you wore green, Colin?
It is. Green for the green roads.
Yeah.
That's right.
On the preservation on Hine Drive, see it says installed and material only.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Thank you for reminding. That one, on High Drive, the preservation, so we're gonna separate that out as, installed and the material only. Mark suggested that we do material only on that. It's basically a seal, kind of seal thing.
It's a slurry seal, a cape seal, they call it, microsurface, and a chip seal first and a microsurface over it.
It's the
Two-step process.
Well, we did in front of the school.
front of college, not
And
the
right over
big
the
stuff.
front.
Yeah.
And then I've got, so there's the map of your roads right there. Pretty much all green. Green means it's a, 8 to 10,
7 or
7
higher.
to 10, yeah, 7 or higher, so that's pretty good. Next time on the show, but.
So my question on the preservation was, is installed, does that mean that the material goes away? Or are these?
No, that would be material and somebody installing it.
Okay.
It's two different options.
It's 2 different options. If you want to install it, then there'll be you'll see just the material cost, and then there's the cost of.
You said today that we could probably, if we want to do it, the material and the labor, probably do for under 4,000.
But,
Or the
the
material,
what
yeah.
the price would be. Maybe probably have a better idea.
Yeah, it's-
on that.
For that process and the complexity of it, it might be really worth it to have somebody install it for you for the additional cost, because with the 75% coming from NDOT, that gets to be pretty economical on the town side for just that labor install portion of it. It's just a few $1,000s on that street, and then nobody in the town has to mess with it, and if it's not installed perfectly, then, it's not your problem, it's the contractor, so.
Will you send that to us, Colin?
What's that?
Will you send that to me?
This, you guys should all have access to it. If not, I'll send you a link with a password. It's all town data, GIS.
Well,
I
maybe
know
anybody-
Mark has access
Okay,
to it.
okay.
So,
Other than, sweet.
so if I could send you a link
Oh, well.
to the password, you guys can do it.
So, I still, I'm sorry, but I still don't understand, on the install, that would mean that the material only part would go away?
Yes,
Oh.
install includes material and installation.
Okay.
The material only is
That's
just
what,
you
that's
buying
what I
the asphalt and the stone and having to install it all yourself, and you don't have the equipment to probably really do it, but, the install is turnkey. Material and labor.
Perfect, thank you.
That's for where, on my yard.
That's from the driveway to the north, I forget the name of that,
Stoops
all the way to the west, then to the end, including the circle.
to the
We
circle.
need to do that.
It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty ratty.
It's been, crack sealed in the past.
Just two stoops though, not past stoops.
No, it's been crack sealed all the way.
This.
Yeah, it's from Stoops to the,
You start at Stoops and head west.
to the circle.
So is this estimate pretty much similar to what happened last year?
No, it's left.
Don't say, okay, don't say numbers.
It's left.
Yeah, well, the estimate, is this estimate less than what the total was?
Now, then last year, we okayed the streets, and then they write up a package, put it out for bid, and the bids come in always under this estimate. Okay, generally.
But we're talking about the same dollars this year as we were last year. That's kind of my question.
Well, some.
Similar,
Yeah,
similar.
Similar, yeah.
Similar.
I thought we were higher last year because of the amount of sidewalks we had to do.
We were.
Yeah, this one's, this estimate's less than last year's estimate.
Okay, that's what the answer is.
Not much sidewalks on this one.
It's a little higher proportion because it costs a lot out too.
Right, I understand that.
And hopefully the bids will come in a lot less than this. All right, any public want to comment on it? Okay, so we need to okay tonight, just make a motion to okay the basic streets that Colin just described and we just talked about. Or does the council have any comments here more on? Okay, so I'll make a motion to okay, BF&S will go ahead and write up this package for all these streets and the curbs. There's a curb on Yost Drive, right?
South is, yeah.
And then, so we can bid it out, get it bid, see what it is, so, for all the streets that Colin just named.
Second the motion to have the FNS.
Okay. Got a motion by Ron and a second by Stan, to okay, the Shady Lane, Yost Drive North, Yost Drive South, Republican Street, Prairie Lane cul-de-sac, Harrison Street, Drive, Favorite Drive, and Dayton Drive. And these are all the numbers, and Hine. And these are all, on our Pazer report, these are all the numbers, it takes care of the numbers 2 through all the 6s, so we're all caught up in an order for the future here. So we'll take a vote on it. Mark?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Carla?
Is this including hydrock being installed or just the material?
Just the slurry and labor and
So it is for both options.
This option is for them to do the materials and installing it. This is just materials.
Right, that's my question. So we're going for the install as opposed to just the materials,
Yes.
correct?
that's what they're suggesting.
Then
I would have got out there and thrown it around
I'll
with some
second
cans,
it.
but that's okay. Anyway, Carla, you're good?
yes.
Oh, okay. Then I bid yes, so it passes 5-0. There you go, guys.
Thank you.
Let us know when you get it written up. Thanks, David.
Yep, you bet. Any other questions?
So before you submit it, does Glenn have to sign it electronically or something?
Yeah,
That's how it was last time.
the application will get it teed up, and then I'll email you or call and say it's ready, get in and review it, and you
Yeah.
can, and use a box you'll check that acknowledges you're you,
Yeah.
and you hit submit.
I feel like last year was like 48 hours, and if you didn't do it, it like expired or something. It was
Maybe.
like crazy.
I'll
They had to like send you a password, and it was
Oh, yeah, that might have been to set up the account.
very,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take a cupcake.
No, thank you.
Colin.
Oh, we've already talked about
You'll look
this.
like you need one. Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Yep.
Take care.
We'll see you.
See, Mark. Yeah.
Okay, next up is Mark. I'll give you a report, please.
Okay, so, first item I have is the water sample we submitted for the state required, I can't think of what it stands for, but PFAS or PFAS test. Those results have not come back yet, so, and you can go to the IDM portal and you can check, and they're still, our sample was submitted in November, and they're just now getting results back for September, so it might be a few months. One thing I did notice is that most, I would say 90% of the towns have come back with good test results, and I have no reason to believe that we won't. But whenever, I'll check the portal every now and then. Whenever I get the results, I'll be sure to let you know. Just so that you have you'll know, yep, everything's good. So the cold snap we had around Christmas Eve there.
Yeah.
Eric and I had noticed during that window of time, usually we go through about 80,000 gallons a day, and it spiked up to 100,000 gallons a day. So, of course, there were some people that had some frozen pipes, and so what we did, because of this Neptune meter reading system, we can go read the town and do a leak report, even though it's not meter reading billing time. So we did that. It gave us a leak report. We went to those places and contacted those people, said, hey, there's a leak going on here. Not all of them, but a majority of them were in Dayton Cove, in the empty apartments. So, and they were notified of it. So we did that as a public service, and we're able to with this. Now, it's the first time we ever tried it, and there were some hiccups because of that, but it was a perfect opportunity, and it was a perfect reason to do that. But anyway, just to let you know that that's what was going on there. We were paying attention to what was going on. These next ones are primarily Eric, but whenever we were reading meters, there was a couple antennas. People had hit them with their lawnmowers or weed eaters, and they would still read, but you'd have to be right there next to them. So as we were moving into someone else reading meters, he wanted to, and I agreed with him that we get them all up to speed, so they're all good now. Just so you know, those antennas cost us about $30. Do I track that and charge John Smith on Conjunction Street $30? I do not. I guess primarily because it's not vandalism or it's not intentional. They just sometimes they get hit by a lawnmower. So that also reminds me that. So we ordered. Remember, he gave me approval at the December meeting to order 2 boxes of meters and 2 boxes of fittings. We still haven't gotten those. But I did call them about 10 days ago and said, hey, we need to, don't let us fall off the edge of the table here. But it's still that same thing, supply chain issues. So
We did get 8.
Oh, did you?
Today.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah.
So we got one of the boxes.
We did get
so
one of the boxes.
We're partway there.
And Eric and I were talking about, I'm checking with Malacus to see how many houses, because Eric said, the guy was saying he might be a year behind now.
Is that
So
right?
not 6 months, but a year. So
I'll check with Novakis, and if he says he thinks he'll build out there 22 of them, so we need to probably order some or something.
Thanks.
2022 CCMG. So, and I talked to Jen about this earlier. So, the point we're at now is that we have to get all the bills paid. Okay, and Jenny said there's a bill still out there that needs paid. Okay, and so once we get all the bills paid, she has the purchase orders that were sent by NDOT when we received the grant. Gives you the contact person, their phone number, their email. And the way we did it last year is we just worked through that person at NDOT, and they said, we need copies of the bills, we need copies of your canceled checks, those kind of things. So I believe that our contract came in at less than we were approved for, which is good,
Yeah.
So that means our portion, our 25%, is less also. So I think it all worked out well. The reason I say that is, and I can't remember, they might have said, okay, your grant's for $425,000. Well, in the end, since the bid came in lower, you might only get $395, but it's still 75% of the final cost. That's why those numbers might not match up. This one here, this is Eric also. So there was you might not even notice, because I just happened to be with Eric one day and drove by and saw that someone had a speed limit sign there on South Dayton Road right there by the church. Eric's got that replaced. The iPad. So, and Cindy helped me on this, so we were able to get, so we can get, when Eric's out in the field, he could have that iPad with him and get his email and this BFNS portal. So that is what Colin was talking about. So it does two things. One, that GIS portal tells Eric where all the main lines are when he's doing locates for storm, sanitary, sewer, and water. Now he still has those maps that he's working on right now, that he's scanning, and it's going to be on there too when he gets them done. Excuse me, but that'll make it so he can do all the locates just from that iPad, which was the original intent. We had got some prices from some other companies about doing that, but I think this is a big money saver, and I think it'll be very convenient. You won't have to take those hard copies out in the field now.
Eric, were you here when Alicia was saying about taking a picture of your locates?
He was not.
Okay. I think it was just recommended, so like if something happens and they say, no, it wasn't located correctly, you can say, but yeah, I did. And hopefully you can do that right on the iPad.
Oh yes, that would be really nice. Yeah, documentation for it.
Yeah, there's been other issues with other municipalities that they have done locates and then they have drilled, someone has drilled or whatever down in the ground and they've hit something and they always, but they come after the person who did the locate. You've got pictures and you can say, okay, we've done it correctly. Cover your bases.
Good idea.
Yeah, I know that USIC, the company you always see in town that does it for the gas company, they always take pictures before they leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last item is my new position. This is a bit awkward, but we'll go through here. As you know, I've accepted a new position with Alliance of Indiana Rural Water. I'm what they call a water circuit rider, and from Lafayette to Evansville, state line to 65 is my area. But my new employer, just to help during this transition time for the board and for Eric, has agreed to, for the months of January and February during regular business hours, you can call me, and if I need to, I can stop in and make a site visit. Now, of course, perpetually, this is just during work hours, but always, whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, and this question comes up, you can always call me. They'll just sit in perimeters for during my hours when they're paying me, which is fine for a couple months, but after that, if you just call me or ask me to stop by after work hours, it'd be would be better for them, and, you know. So additionally, because it is, I mean, you wouldn't know today, but it is January, I'd be glad if you need me to help you push snow this winter. So, you know, let's just say that a big snow comes in tomorrow. I could come in, depending on where I'm working at, but I'd come in as soon as I got off work and push snow for you till midnight. You know, help you out any way I can. You know, it's
Appreciate that.
yeah. Lastly, I want to say thank you because you know I think Dayton's in a great position, and that's not just with what Colin said, but that's part of it. You know. You've got the streets, you're going to have them all up to standards. All of our programs, whether it's with IDM in the water or with Lafayette Renewal and the wastewater and the grease and grit chambers and all that stuff, they're all up to speed right now. So you're in a good spot, you know, and I think that I think we've done well. But I've learned a lot of stuff on here, so I want to thank you for the opportunities you've given me. Because there's some things I came in here that I did not know about. You know, because I was just strictly a water sewer guy. You know, I didn't know anything about streets or a lot of that stuff, but I think it's worked out well, so thank you. So anyway,
Thank you,
Yeah, well, thank you.
really
well, thank you, Stan.
stepped up for Dayton. You really.
Well, I think that we've worked well together, so, you know. All right. Any questions about anything?
I do have one comment. I
Yeah.
know the water meters were installed, about a decade ago?
2018.
Yeah, so I know a lot of them have heaved with the freezing and thawing, and that might be probably some of your problem with lawnmowers doing some damage to the meter reading.
Yeah, it gets
So
a little bit
I know
above
mine's
grade.
been hit,
Has it?
and with the same mower setting.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I agree. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. All right, public comment? Anybody out there in the public want to comment? All right, council comments? Mark?
I know that this Neptune reading system, it seems that it can do a lot more than what we're currently doing, but I think I talked to you in the past about they needed a software upgrade, and you could actually read the meters from in this building without actually having to go out.
That's
And
awesome.
there's a lot of real-time data that could be made available. So I think my comment is that maybe sometime in the future, we need to be looking at some of these other capabilities of what this system can do, and see if this technology is something that might be, beneficial to us and cost-effective.
Look at that for that dish up on the top where Bridget can sit in here or Alec can read everything, so,
Yeah.
without driving around.
Or you can just pick out a specific house
Yeah.
and just bring up that house and it will read that meter right there. Now, it only reads it every hour, but anyway, it would give you that, and it gives you a 96-day, hour by hour history.
So does it give you, if it flags an excessive use,
Yeah, it does. It's an actual flash by that hour reading. And it will say one or two things. It will say either intermittent flow, which would be like a toilet cycling off and on constantly, or if it says continuous, that means you probably got it could be something as simple as the kids left the outside spigot on, or it could be a busted pipe somewhere in the basement. So, but now we go through the leak report, and any of them that say continuous, those are the ones that we always visit personally. Take the reading right there to show the homeowner if they aren't home, we put a hang tag on the door saying, hey, something's going on here. You'd be surprised.
I've had that happen twice since we've gone to the city water. Once I had the water main break in my basement, and once I had a water softener break in the basement. Both times I was on vacation.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, but, I mean, he did stop at my house and say, you had an excessive use of water during this period. And I said, yeah, we were on vacation and we did have a water break. So it would be great to have that
New
information
systems.
real time.
It's a good, for the customer.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
great.
it serves a good purpose for the residents. It's just, you know, it's not, that's not common. That system is not commonly used everywhere. You know, and it's different if you're in a large city, but whenever you're a smaller community and you can do that, it seems like it has more impact. So you can just go to those 10 houses and call or visit or whatever, and it works out well that way.
I think the other thing that was really nice when we discovered those apartments that were leaking, if it wasn't for the Neptune system being as fast and accurate as it was, I think it would have been like a needle in a haystack trying to hunt around looking for possible situation of water being leaked somewhere.
And the property manager did not know about it. Didn't she?
Yeah, no,
She had no idea.
The neighboring one is lucky that said the whole
Oh,
floor.
that one, yes.
Yeah, the floor was
Yes.
full of water, wall to
Yes.
wall in there. Yeah, this. So does that system read, it just during, after you read the meters, just 2 weeks later, does it beep at you if something's running, or do you have to actually
Yeah.
turn it on and check?
Yeah.
Okay. But I like the idea, sometime that dish on the roof or something, where you can read everything from the air to get a minute or whatever. So. Okay, any other, Stan? Jim? Carla? I don't have anything, it's been a pleasure working with you. Okay, we'll close this meeting, I'll turn it over to Jen.
Before I start my meeting, I know people really watch you crying, like, Mark's not dying. We're so happy for you, like, this is such a cool job for you to go to, but we're sad for us. Because I think this is a lot about you and, like, who you are just as a teammate to say, call me up. Like, call me in 2 years if you need something. Like, you can just say, well, I'm done, you know, and you don't, because that's just not who you are. And you've always just been, I don't know, like, just so good to work with. Your patience, and you don't get riled up about anything. Anything. So, thank you, and we'll miss you.
He said I could hop in the truck and go antiquing with this.
Oh, that's why he's not sad.
All around southern Indiana.
And also, there's cupcakes, which is important, so everybody eat cupcakes. And there's a card there from Bridget and Marshall Saylor in the council for you. Okay. Dayton Town Council meeting, Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. Ron already did the roll call. We're all still here, so we'll move on to attorney.
Do you want me to do that fund ordinance? Okay. Yeah, okay. Jen asked me to do an ordinance to establish a donation community enrichment fund, which essentially is just a place where we can put donations for things like the Santa Parade and the Pumpkin Patch and other community enrichment items. The town receives donations, and this will allow those funds to be put in a specific place instead of just in the general fund.
So would that be separate from the flood fund?
Yeah.
Yep. And so, I've got an ordinance that I prepared that establishes that fund, provides what it would be used for, which is just community enrichment, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Just a way to track where, what we get it from, that's the easier way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because right now, like, we have our community enrichment fund, which we put money into, but then, like, BF&S and Stoops and, some of the people gave money for those events, but it just had to go into the general miscellaneous instead of going into a fund that says, like, I'm giving this money for community enrichment. So now we can put it in here and then we can start. All right. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay. So this will be ordinance number 2023-1. And I'm probably not going to do this correctly, but I make a motion to suspend formalities and read by title only ordinance number 2023-1, an ordinance to establish a donation community enrichment fund pursuant to Indiana Code 3613, and pass on first reading.
Not
No.
pass on first reading yet, just.
Is
read
that
it
the second
by title
one?
only.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the second one.
I told him.
It's okay. We'll get there.
There's been a motion made by myself and seconded by Stan. Is there any comments? Okay. How do you vote, Mark?
Yes.
Stan? Ron?
Yes.
Carla? And I vote yes. So now I would make a motion to pass on first reading ordinance number 2023-1, an ordinance to establish the donations community enrichment fund pursuant to Indiana Code 3613.
Second.
It's been a motion made by myself and seconded by Mark. Any comments? How do you vote, Mark?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Carla? Yes. And I vote yes, that passes 5-0. And finally, I make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2023-1, an ordinance to establish a donation community enrichment fund pursuant to Indiana Code 3613.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion made by myself and seconded by Mark. Is there any comments? How do you vote, Mark?
Yes.
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 Carla? And I vote yes, that passes 5-0. We're gonna need to change your name because this Mark's always gonna remind me of that Mark who just made his name. We call you Burmester, that's a really easy name. Just consider a name change is all I'm asking. Okay.
That's all I've got.
Do you wanna do the resolution?
Do you want me
Do you
to
wanna
do that now, or do you want me to
explain
wait,
that?
please?
Do you want
We'll
me to
just have Mark, or Scott come up and you can explain
you
it.
want me to just
then.
explain it real quick?
Sure, and then we'll get it done.
Knock it out.
Yeah.
The Indiana Law Enforcement Training Board adopted a statewide policy setting the minimum standards for vehicle pursuits. They felt the need to adopt this policy, and they did so and passed their statewide resolution in November of last year. This policy, it stated that this policy must be incorporated into all law enforcement agencies' policies and procedures by January 1st of 2023. I sent you all a copy of that policy set forth by the state. I don't think the state did a very good job of letting all the law enforcement agencies know that this was going to be happening. It's given us only basically a month and a half window to adopt it. I looked back through all my contact information and I couldn't find anything coming from the training board, and I haven't received any letters from them like I normally would for policies that they incorporated of this nature. Having said that, I sent that to the president to review, and she contacted our attorney, and she's drafted a resolution to adopt this policy and add it to our current pursuit policy. The policy is very, it just sets the minimum standards. So this is the base from which the state wants everybody else to a starting point for their policies. Our current pursuit policy that we have in place actually hits all of the standards that they set forth in their policy. Ours even goes a step further and is actually a tad more restrictive than the state policy is. So basically they want their wording intact, and to make sure that it's in place, they're mandating that all police departments add this to their policy. So that's the resolution that Alicia has drafted for your consideration.
Any questions? All right, I would make a motion to adopt resolution number 2023-2, a resolution adopting and approving the uniform statewide policy on minimum standards for vehicle pursuits. Okay, there's been a motion made by myself and seconded by Stan to adopt this ordinance, or this resolution. Are there any questions or comments? How do you vote, Burmester?
Yes.
Stan,
Yeah.
Ron,
Yes.
Carla, and I vote yes, so that is adopted.
So they just need to sign that, and then
And then you can come to your vehicle.
You have a copy of it?
And then you're just gonna wanna attach those standards, because I said that they would be Schedule A to the resolution, so just attach a copy of the standards to the resolution so it's all together, because otherwise we'll have the resolution and we won't have the Schedule A. I have a copy for you.
I have it, that's why.
Yeah. I didn't
Read
the wheel? I saved it as a PDF, I did not print it, scan it with the schedule, and save it as PDF. So, do you want this copy to attach?
Yep.
I'm just writing Schedule A at the top. There you go.
What a- All right, thank you. You have nothing else?
No.
Perfect. Allowance docket. I move to approve the allowance docket dated 12/1/2022 to 12/31/2022. Is there a second? And you want to approve the allowance docket. Any questions about the allowance docket?
Second?
I do need a second.
Second.
Excellent. Okay, there's been a motion made by myself and a very slow to come second by Ron to approve this allowance docket. No questions? All right, how do you vote? Sir?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Carla? And I vote yes, so that is approved 5-0. Next up is the claims docket. I move to approve the January 17th, 2023 claims docket in the amount of $102,024.32.
Second.
There's been a motion made by myself and a second by Stan to approve this claims docket. Are there any questions? Okay, how do you vote? MB?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Carla? And I vote yes, so that is approved 5-0. We don't have the reports yet, we're still waiting for the bank rec, but we do have the minutes. I move to approve the following minutes. December 12th, 2022, Utility Board, December 12th, 2022, Town Council, December 28th, 2022, public hearing, and December 28th, 2022, special meeting.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion made by myself and seconded by Mr. Burmester to approve these minutes. Any questions, comments? Okay, how do you vote? Person that seconded the motion?
Yes.
Stan?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Carla? And I vote yes, so those are 5-0. Clerk Treasurer Office. I don't think I really had anything to update except to say that Ron moved some things around in there and it looks so cute. Everybody should take a peek in there because that's really adorable. It looks very inviting. If ever you want to sit in there, come on over. Did you have anything? Okay. Public comment.
I have one.
Yes. Can you say your name and address for
yeah.
the record for me, please?
Doug Willis, 693 Walnut Street. You guys have done a great job with the speed humps and the mileage radar thing coming through town. I noticed late last year there was I don't know if it was a camera here at the intersection of Dayton Road and 38 from the state. Has there been any movement on a stop sign or some sort of a blinking light to slow traffic down? I mean, obviously we've been sitting here and cars have been going through here at way excess of 30 miles an hour, and it's very dangerous here in town.
Yeah.
Has there been any movement on that?
Yeah, so they did the study, and it came back and they said no. Like, for real, right,
Shocker.
Mark? That's what they said.
Not
They,
enough traffic.
yeah,
And they could only redo that every,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's times I sit in my driveway and wait 5 minutes for traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really did
I
not.
mean, at least we
expect
tried
it.
it.
Yeah. I don't know how often it can be redone, do you
We
know?
can try each year. We can
Each
stop-
year?
we can-
Maybe if we just keep asking them to redo it, they're like, fine, here's a light, a stop sign.
Maybe when they have the camera out here, we just all drive around circles.
No, it's frustrating because
No, I
you go
know.
to Mulberry, it's a very small town,
I know.
smaller than here, and there's a four-way stop.
Yeah,
And, this is a very traffic thoroughfare through Dayton,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating that, now with the new housing addition and, all the additional traffic that we
Even
can't
at
have.
Rossville, they've got four-ways.
I wonder if there's a way to like,
Exactly. Just,
appeal their.
it's just a frustration level.
Is that the right word, appeal?
You can try.
We agree with you, I mean, completely,
Yeah.
we've been trying.
No, I understand that, I'm just wondering if there was any movement on
Yeah.
that.
I do think that you should just bug them,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
because in their mind, like, no, the numbers didn't match, but like in real life,
Another thing other communities have done, and I don't know how well this will work, but they have garnered like pet letters from like, community members, like done like a letter drive to get, and then the town council writes a letter, and I don't know, business owners write letters, and you get as many as you can, and you send that with your request to review it, and then you've got not just the town council requesting it, but 400 people or something like that.
oh,
And that's something that you can try. I don't know.
love
if it
that
works,
idea.
but
But it's worth a
it's
try,
worth a shot.
because obviously.
Because that gets their attention a little bit.
Mhm.
Again, don't know that it'll work.
Yeah.
We get it everybody Sunday morning from the church, so I can have
Just stop them and get home accidentally.
Stand
Sign
there
a
with
letter.
a clipboard.
Yeah, that's,
I'd be willing to knock on doors.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Put it on.
Yeah,
I'll do a petition for
is
the
that, do
period
we need to
round.
like, make a decision on that now, is that something we wanna do? Put it on the website?
What I would recommend too is you collect all the letters and kind of send them in like a,
Bulk.
we can get a big box.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just send out a whole bunch of letters and say, here's all the support. And if you can get community leaders and things like that, business owners,
Yeah. Can you say your name and address for that?
Cindy Marsh, 749 Shady Lane. Alicia, do you think a petition would have the same weight as a bunch of letters?
I don't, and the reason I don't is because it's really easy to sign your name to a petition. It takes a little bit more effort.
It takes a lot of
to do a
effort,
letter, and so
which I
I
think
mean,
will be
a
successful.
petition doesn't hurt anything. If we can't get a whole box full of letters, then a petition. But I do think that if you send a box of letters and you have 300 letters, I think that's going to get somebody's attention, at least.
Would this be inappropriate to put on the bottom of a utility bill? Like, visit the website for more information on bothering the state about a,
We probably don't want to. We probably don't want to word it that
If we
way.
can put
like,
that
not
on
a word, but it would
If we
be,
put
would it
that
be
on the
appropriate
I
to?
mean,
Dayton
Facebook,
Facebook page.
Facebook page, I would be more than happy to distribute that to multiple people.
You could also do like a separate mailing. You've got customers from
Uh-huh.
the utility. You could do a separate mailing that's not on the utility bill, but that says, hey, we're trying to collect letters. Here's why we're doing it. That's another option.
Can you offer options on, here's a style of letter, as opposed to
Sample.
not necessarily a form letter, but.
You could give you could offer a couple of samples of
But they
letters
could just
or
sell
something
them.
like that. I would think that the more variety we have, the better off we are. So you could also, I don't know how difficult this would be, but you could also say, okay, we're going to give 5 samples, or look at our website for some sample letters or something like that. But that's, I don't know if it'll work.
But it's worth a shot, and I mean, it's,
Won't be any worse off than we are right now.
yeah,
Spend a little time, but that's
right.
all.
In the past, we send out mailers for the town. How much did it cost to?
The printing was the most expensive part, and I think, of course, it's been 3 or 4 years ago, but I think it cost about $1 per household between the mailer and the printing and the mailing. The postage itself was the cheapest part, because you do the bulk mailing.
That would be a place to start, sit down.
Yeah, because then everybody, that's a good idea, everybody get
If the printing is too expensive, you have small enough handwriting, you can handwrite 545 letters. You can put on a half a sheet of paper, we'll save on paper, post it.
You can do it in the truck while you're with Mark Boone.
Yeah.
I'll do it when I'm snow plowing.
You are not so.
Okay, great.
I'm right with there.
So excited about this, Mr. Willis. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Any other public comment? Hard to top that. Council comment. Did you have anything else? You did not, did you? Marcia Taylor? Sorry. No, you just got that. I think you didn't get your updated agenda. I took that off and I changed the year to 2023.
Oh,
Okay, council comment. Do you have anything?
Just, once again, thank you, Mark. Appreciate, you said the town's better now, and I think you have a big part to do with that.
stop in and have a cup of coffee with Richard anytime.
Please do, because if not, we're gonna have to hear about it. And she misses you. Did you have anything, Sam? Carla?
No,
What?
no,
So, let me see. Let me check your notes.
I do.
I had just a couple things. For listserv, our renewal's coming up, so I need to know who wants to be on listserv of the council. I do, do you?
I do.
Do you? Do you want to be on listserv? It's like $80. List,
I'm not sure what
it's
that is.
a lot of emails. It's basically like,
Bunch of gossip.
no, it's not even. It's like clerk treasurers and council members and whoever from municipalities around Indiana, and they get on there and they're like, hey, what do you guys do about this or that? I don't know, just a lot of information.
Every day
You learn
there's
a lot.
questions, and then other clerks answer, like, what fund do you take this out of, what do you appropriate that, what do you, this and that, they all help each other, you get a lot of answers. It's
Just
pretty good.
caution that not all of them are true.
Yes.
Just
It
throw my
is fascinating and it's interesting and, sort of like Facebook, you take some of it face value, but,
I do learn a lot. And like, hey, did you hear about this grant? Or has anybody tried this? Or it's just, it's like a lot of information. He said yes. Okay.
You haven't tried it.
Well, no, I was gonna say, if you think it's worthwhile.
I
You
do.
want to spend, if it's worth $80, then, but I don't want to waste $80.
Yeah.
Not much.
My other thing, so at our last meeting, our end of the year meeting, we adjourned, and then we remembered that we didn't vote on Bridget's raise, so we reconvened, voted on that, and then adjourned again, and I'm just wondering if we need to vote on that again. You weren't here, so I was just glad I'd seen the thing.
I was gone for 1 week.
One meeting, and we fell apart!
So, let me ask you this. How long were we adjourned? Like 30 seconds? Were we adjourned like 15 minutes?
Oh, no.
A minute or two.
What do you think?
Like
It's
a
just a
minute?
couple minutes?
So everybody
yeah,
was
yeah.
available?
Yeah.
Was still
Nobody had left.
Right.
Everybody was still here.
Okay, I'm gonna say that that's probably fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably fine. Because we adjourned, but then we immediately reconvened. That was just a misspeak.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Misspoke.
And we didn't like change an ordinance or anything, it's already in the ordinance, it was just a simple,
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm comfortable with that.
okay, cool. Did you have anything?
I'll wait till next.
Really? Okay, having no other business before us, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Please eat the cupcakes. You're welcome, Mark. That was our gift to you. The very best. Last. Because now we can hang out and eat cupcakes and hug.
You talk faster this time.
Okay. Yeah.
Beth, I think I need you to sign these, and I also need to have you sign them. And then I'm like, I need your signature. Okay. No, I don't. I don't think I put it.
The resolution.
Oh,
Oh,
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine.